Welcome to episode 3 here of Drew's Basketball Crew. Let's zoom myself out here quickly. There we go. Welcome to Drew's Basketball Crew. If you're out on the live stream, just wanted to zoom it out. So now, yep, you can see, right, the Drew Sports Crew on social media. But look, we have a 4-game slate here of some NBA basketball. We'll get to it here in this episode. Again, this is episode 3. We're covering NBA DFS for November 1st, 2022. Happy November to everyone out there, right? We got a great 4-game slate, as I said, to talk about in this episode. Look, I mean, I talked about it on yesterday's episode. It was a wild week, wild slate last Tuesday with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. We talked about him being out with Josh Giddey, potentially with those injuries those two were dealing with. Now Giddey's out, I'll tell you Tuesday, but basically they're both ruled out. Gilgeous-Alexander ends up playing. They switch him from out to active like an hour before. People were confused. People had their Trey Man daily fantasy locked in, which man did still perform. Aaron Wiggins ended up being the one getting hurt from that the most, but look, I mean, let's go through this slate. It'll probably be around 10 minutes as we've been hovering due to, only 4 games on these Tuesdays usually. I mean, it's a really light slate in the NBA on Tuesdays, it seems. Most of the games starting up, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, weekend time, as we know. But first game I want to touch on, we got 2 games starting at 6:30 p.m. Central. Golden State, Miami, Chicago, and Brooklyn are those 2. Golden State, Miami will start there. Injury-wise, the big story I'd say is, you'll see, right, Caleb Martin's been starting. Caleb Martin's played very well. Caleb Martin, depending on price, could be a great streamer, at the power forward spot. I always like Bam Adebayo, in this context because, I know Omar Yurtseven's not a guy who's taking up those minutes, and we don't really expect him to, but he's out still. So I just feel there's still a nice need for him there on the Bam on the defensive side. So certainly like Bam Adebayo, Caleb Martin in this game more. Otherwise, on the Golden State side, I don't mind. I don't mind Andrew Wiggins. I feel like he's had a great start to the year. Certainly is a guy you're watching though. Who's gonna be a Jimmy Butler, right? That's gonna be something we're gonna be looking at. So could maybe be something you don't want to take Wiggins in this game. But if you're looking for some value, Bam Adebayo certainly is that guy. Plus, right, I see his salary listed at 7.9K around there, depending again where you're playing. Right, we're looking Fantasia Sports. I'll get to those announcements at the end of the episode. But I certainly like Bam Adebayo from this game in that value perspective. Also, if Clay or Draymond are available, there could be some value there. I am not taking Steph Curry. If you're asking today, no Steph Curry for me today with the matchup against Miami. I feel like it's a tough matchup for him. He's been kind of streaky so far this year, even though he started off well. Not looking at Curry. Let's go to the Bulls and Nets in this game. So right now, Ben Simmons being a game time decision kind of throws us off a little bit. And then also the fact that Ayo Dosunmu, Zach LaVine, and Kobe White are all game time decisions. You got to love the NBA regular season. So it's like, okay, well, who do we take if they aren't there, right? Who are we? I think Dosunmu or White, I think one of them's going to play. So I could totally see LaVine being out. LaVine being out means Kobe White, certainly a guy you want to have in your lineup. Otherwise, right, if White and LaVine are out, Dosunmu's your guy. I kind of go from there. But, yeah, I mean, going through it even more, the for sure out is Lonzo Ball, Andre Drummond. Trying to looking at the Bulls depth chart because I want to see how they plan to operate. Make sure, we can find some better value in case, right? What if everyone's out? Well, what would you do if all the guards are out? I'm going to go to Alex Caruso, who's going to be that guy who's going to insert in the lineup. But then even Goran Dragic. I mean, if we're looking at White, Dosunmu, both out with LaVine as well, it's the best value is either Caruso or Goran Dragic. And what do you think about Goran Dragic? Could be a guy just throw, maybe if he gives you like 12 points, 8 assists, for decent value, could be a nice play there on Tuesday. Otherwise, the Brooklyn Nets, we're looking, right, Ben Simmons being game time decision, looking at that. Royce O'Neal could have some nice value in the starting lineup if he is starting there. Ben Simmons, if he plays, though, depending on where his salary's at, I mean, with the amount of just total stats he's giving you, not really points, I certainly could see that as a great play. But my favorite play is Royce O'Neal you can get him at the guard spot, small forward, power forward. Again, depends where you play. That could be a winning play, I think, on Tuesday. So I'm all for that one. But otherwise, I don't know. I don't really like anyone else from the Nets unless you're just going to pay up, take a star. Kevin Durant's balled out this year. If you want to pay up, just have Durant in there. If you have some extra salary, why not? Right? But let's go to the Orlando Thunder game. This game probably has the best streamers, I'd say, and it's coming all on the Orlando side. So I can tell you this: Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, and Mo Wagner? I think that's Mo Wagner. Yeah, he's out in this game. Just want to verify it was him, not Franz Wagner. Looks like he's good to go. Suggs being a game time decision. So I'm telling you, start Franz Wagner. Play Franz Wagner in this game. He is going to be probably a great option, scoring option in this game. Also, Terrence Ross is the starting point guard listed right now. So what that means could be some awesome value, basically. I would be looking Terrence Ross in a lot of leagues. Bull also, I'm just concerned with Bull if minutes-wise, because we're looking for volume. I don't see Bobo playing 30 minutes. He's been hovering 20, 25. So I'm more hesitant about that, which leads me to Wendell Carter. I think Wendell Carter is your center on Tuesday. Him and Bam, if you get two centers, why not? I think that's going to be your best option on, today as well. Paolo Banchero, he's balled out. Why not? Is another guy, because who's going to score? I mean, it's got to be Banchero. I mean, unless you see Terrence Ross have one of those crazy games. That's why I say throw Ross in there as well. I could see myself taking 3 Magic players on Tuesday. So keep that in mind. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, of course, we talked about how he's balled out this past week, being the Western Conference Player of the Week. So Gilgeous-Alexander, always a great option. But otherwise, the Thunder, it's so inconsistent with playing time in the 4 and the 5. So I can't suggest any of them. We're looking for high floor plays. So, I mean, if anything, you take your ceiling guys, take your guys like Terrence Ross, some guys who we know will get minutes, who have that kind of high floor, high ceiling mix, which is what we look for. But otherwise with Dort, Pokuševski, these guys we're not looking for on Tuesday for a DFS kind of play. So definitely not looking there. Let's go to the last game, though. Timberwolves Suns. This should be a good game out in the desert in Phoenix. We got the injury report coming in. The main one that everyone really knows about is, right, DeAndre Ayton being ruled out. No Jay Crowder as well. So that points to Cam Johnson, Bismack Biyombo. So if you don't like Wendell Carter, you don't like Bam Adebayo, you take Bismack Biyombo. He's the next best option today. Probably, from a value standpoint, I'd go Wendell Carter than Bismack Biyombo, if you're wondering. So that's probably where I'd go. Cameron Johnson as well, again, because these forwards got to play a lot of minutes here for this Phoenix squad. Even Mikal Bridges. I mean, awesome play there, potentially. So I'd keep that one in mind. Jaden McDaniels is probably the guy I'd throw in there for Minnesota. Look, this team's so balanced, Minnesota, in terms of scoring, and they are able to with the amount of talent they have in that starting 5. So really makes it tough for me to kind of make a play. Sounds like Kyle Anderson's playing, though. So that's kind of where, for me, Jaden McDaniels. But I'll say this. If Anderson gets ruled out, I like Jaden McDaniels more than some of the other forwards I mentioned. I like him more than, from a value standpoint, maybe more than Banchero on Tuesday. Otherwise, I mean, that's probably where I'd go with that. Probably won't include that many players from that Minnesota game. It'll probably be more, a couple from Phoenix, probably 2 or 3 from Orlando. maybe have a Bull, maybe have a Brooklyn Net in there, and then probably like 2 players from Golden State, Miami. I'm gonna try to maybe not diversify into each game because I mean that's not really the goal, but it's I don't want to limit myself by having so many players just in one game. The goal, of course, being maximize your points, win DFS, win it on Fantasia. That's where we go. Fantasia is the link is in the description below on the link tree. Find it all there. You can start building your winning lineup on Fantasia, or you can check out their fantasy football leagues. I mean, you can still start one late. I don't know really if you'd want to, but it's a great app, great layout. 7-1 right now in that league too, so it's certainly my favorite place to play when I'm winning. So that's something love to see. But otherwise, they're coming out like jerseys. They're giving out free stuff for playing in their contests, and you can play in free contests too. It doesn't get any better than that. So come join me on Fantasia Sports. Come enter some contests with me. I'll be in the free one with the lineup we talked about, with some of those players we talked about in a lineup. And that lineup will be posted again on all social medias. So you can find it all there at Drew Sports Crew, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You know the drill. It's all there. Drew Sports Crew. Also hats, right? $15 a hat. Go check that out. Of course, that link also, or social media, you can check that out. Reach out at Drew Sports Crew. We'll take care of you here and enjoy your Tuesday. That's going to wrap it up for myself, Drew Skyberg. Thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Drew's Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.